This is Steve Piloff from George Mason University. I'm going to be talking about annuities. An annuity is essentially a fixed perpetuity that instead of going on forever, goes on for a fixed amount of time. So it pays a fixed cash flow that takes place regularly. And its next payment is in one period. So in one period, it's got its next payment, and then they're regular and they're fixed, except instead of going on forever, it lasts a finite number of periods. So you get first payment, second, third, all the way out to the last payment. Often called an ordinary annuity or a standard annuity. And again, one of the ways we think about it is, okay, here we have the first period. There's a payment for that period. We think of it as happening at the end, but what's important is that it's in one period. That's the thinking, but the thing that's really important is that the first payment's in one period. And so when we talk about a T period annuity, it makes payments for T periods. And also it makes T payments. So if I say we have a 6-month annuity, and it makes monthly payments, it'll make payments for 6 months, and it'll make 6 monthly payments. What is the present value of an annuity? So suppose I have an investment that's going to pay me $100 in a year, $100 in 2 years, $100 in 3 years, $100 in 4 years, $100 in 5 years. Fixed amount, starting in one period, in this case a year, going for a finite period of time. What's the present value? It's just the sum of the present values of the first payment, the second, all the way out to the last one. And this simplifies to this expression, but we're going to focus on letting the financial calculator do the work for us. But what's important to understand is that the financial calculator is going to be doing this work, where we're going to be telling it what the amount of that regular cash flow is, what the rate is that we're using to discount those regular cash flows, and how many of those payments there are. So when we have payment not equal to zero, whether it's in end mode or begin mode is important. When we did things with one cash flow, so payment was zero and the cash flow was captured in the FV, it didn't matter what mode we were in. But it does matter when payment's not equal to zero, because the mode, in this case we'll talk about end mode, it tells the calculator that the next payment is in one period. So you're telling it that there's these regular payments equal to some amount. End mode tells the calculator that the next one is in one period. So suppose we want to find the present value of an annuity. So we tell the calculator payment, end mode, and end. The calculator has now been told, okay, there are regular cash flows in the amount of PMT. And that would be positive if we're getting money, negative if we're paying out money. N tells the calculator how many there are, and end tells the calculator that the first one of those is in one period. So in one period, 2 periods, 3 periods, all the way out, such that the nth will happen in n periods. I% is the rate that all the cash flows are going to get discounted. And there's one more cash flow, which is FV. FV is an extra cash flow, not captured by PMT. And just like we've done before, if we tell the calculator n, it will treat FV as being a cash flow that takes place in n periods. And it doesn't matter whether in begin mode or end mode, FV will be out here. So if we're in end mode and we give it some PMT equal to something and FV equal to something, the calculator will say, aha, there's 2 different cash flows there. Then we solve for PV, and this is where the calculator can drive us nuts, is that you'll solve for PV, and what will pop up on your calculator is the opposite of the present value of all of these cash flows discounted by I%.